Alright, and welcome back everybody to another episode of DeathStryke Media's Force Friday show. It's Friday, we're talking some Star Wars, and boy do we have some Star Wars news this week. A bunch of stuff dropped, including a trailer. Finally we got the trailer, but first things first, and that's introductions. Today on the panel we've got just James Armstrong. We got two Jameses on the panel. James, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, James. I had a weird dream where I was at my old childhood home and I was holding a flamethrower and I had to go in my backyard and fight the Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, well, that's impressive.
Intense.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's actually quite interesting because I also had a dream not so long ago about going back to my youth. I don't know what that means. Like, do I envy the youth? Do I want to go back? No responsibilities, no rent.
Yeah,
no big life choices.
I don't know. I kind of had to torch a few people who got copied by the Thing, though. I kind of felt bad about that.
Well, to each their own.
It probably just means I got to maybe cut down on watching that movie.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
But like I said, guys, we are deep into Star Wars now. We've got the new trailer that just hit. We got the new poster that just hit. And we also have Han Solo news from the one, the only, I forget his name now. Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard. That's actually good news.
It actually is good news. So we're going to dive right into it, guys. Whoa, I almost forgot. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you guys for watching. So we're going to dive right into this. First thing is first, of course, the big news at top. The trailer has finally dropped. The second trailer, the non-teaser trailer.
The wait is over.
The wait is over. It premiered at Monday Night Football, like Mark Hamill kind of suggested. And man, was it pretty. It was gorgeous. It was everything we wanted, except for one thing, which we'll touch on in a minute. But it was beautiful. It was spectacular. It was amazing. It was misdirecting. It was, you know, I can't even there's no words really to describe besides the ones I obviously just used. But when I first saw it, I had to watch it again and again and again and again to be like, what I miss. But
like you should have a counter or something to like just mark the number of times that you actually.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think on YouTube so far it's like got 121 million views in 24 hours. It's pretty impressive. But with that being said, James, you got a chance to check out the trailer. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I like how they're doubling down on red as the key color. It's like the color of the poster and the color of the planet.
Great.
Thank you. I'll remember that eventually.
That's okay. It's a new planet.
I have a new theory on why the Porge is in the Millennium Falcon. I think we were joking that it should be like a little snack for Chewie.
Yeah.
But my new theory is that the Porg is just a kind of like a dashboard decoration. It's just going to hang out on the Falcon, and maybe just most of the time
it's a pop figure.
Yeah, it's a pop figure.
It's a live action pop figure, if you will.
Yeah, they can just like bobble up and down when they're in hyper.
But it screams.
Hyperslip. Yeah, but mostly I just hope it's kind of chill. But yeah, you're right. When they take off, I'm sure it'll do its wing spreading, shouting thing. But that was cool. I do have to say that I thought it was very irresponsible of Kylo Ren to smash his helmet and then immediately hop on his TIE fighter and go fighting. I mean, come on, people. You should practice safety and never fly without your helmet.
What he said, always wear your helmet for everything. Always wear your helmet. But with that being said, I didn't touch on the misdirection. What do you think is the biggest misdirection? Because there were misdirections left and right in this whole trailer. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, the very last thing was a pure misdirection. There's no. I'm gonna call BS on that. There's no way Kylo Ren and Ren are
Kylo Ren and
right. And well, now I'm kind of combining their name, which is probably what they want me to do.
Cray.
Yeah, Cray.
I guess.
Raylo.
Raylo. That's the one that's on the interwebs. Raylo. I hate that one. It sounds like J-Lo, and she's had nothing to do with Star Wars. Keep that out of Star Wars. So.
Well, you've got one more episode to go.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll see.
But no, like that fake out toward the end. I mean, clearly it's a shot of Rey and like a quiet campfire scene, probably talking to Luke. Then they cut to Kylo Ren, and it's more of a fiery backdrop. So I am curious who he's reaching his hand out to, but it's not Rey.
No, I will agree with you. It's probably not Rey, but although it could be like everyone's like, oh, it's not Rey, or there's of course when you see it, you just like, oh, that's Rey, and then you go, oh, that's probably not Rey. He's reaching his hand out to. Biggest plot twist of all is Rian Johnson is going to put it as like, no, it was Rey the whole time. So, but I think the whole there's a whole line that Luke says about this is not going to go the way you think. I think it appears that he's talking to Rey, but I think he although he might be talking to Rey, it might be early on in the film versus later on in the film, or he's talking to a Force ghost. Your thoughts on that?
I was kind of hoping he was talking to Leia. I don't know.
I don't think she's talking to. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Because I definitely want them to have a scene together.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be toward the final act of the film.
Also, like everyone's talking about porgs, nothing but porgs. That crazy snow wolf.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
That actually impressed me.
Mark Ellis coined it Jedi direwolf.
Jedi direwolf. Okay, I can see that.
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, but that thing looked pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, it looked really good. I thought it looked a little too CGI, but maybe it's still an early. Maybe they built this trailer before they got finished with the CGI stuff, which is totally fine. That's legit. That's what that's what happens in post production. You get this something ready for a trailer, and they sit on it for a while you're still editing away for everything else. They do that in lots of films. I know they did a lot with Thor. They've done a lot with Justice League with Cyborg. So it's a work in progress. Now, going forward, I know that Rian Johnson is known for his character-driven films, and this one looks very character-driven. With each individual person or character we see will have their own individual story and arc in this film. Whose story arc, other than Rey's, are you looking forward to?
Oh, Finn, definitely. I mean, he fights Phasma, and
that was a good scene.
And he's on the First Order ship, and like I said this a few shows ago, I'm worried about the guy.
Yeah. Will he make it out of the franchise? Who knows?
I mean, I hope so, but I don't know.
He could be part of the next big three, because you have Rey, Finn, and Poe.
Yeah.
And you had Luke, Han, and Leia. So maybe they're the next big three that carry on to the next franchise, and who will pass it off on the next three films.
Yes. But then in the third one, I don't know. There's always someone biting the bullet in the third one.
Who bit the bullet?
I guess.
Besides Vader.
On paper, there's supposed to be something like.
I guess. Well,
Harrison Ford wanted to get killed in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, he wanted that arc to end a long time ago.
They had to postpone that one, but yeah, I'm worried about it. But again, as far as who I'm looking forward to the most. As the months go by, it's going to be Finn's plotline. I think he's got a lot going on. He's already recovering from a wound and finally becoming a big deal in the Resistance. Maybe live up to his nickname. And yeah, he actually maybe gets captured, has to confront his old unit. And I'm curious if they're still just going to yell traitor at him all the time.
I'm sure I'm sure not in rank, but I'm sure in private, or if he gets imprisoned in the brig, then you'll probably hear it from there.
And was he fighting Phasma with that same thing that TR-8R had?
So the one that TR-8R had actually extended this way.
Okay.
This one extends this way.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting. It looks like the new Executioner style weapons that are going to be in the Last Jedi, which are going to be a new part of the Stormtrooper Legion or First Order Legion. So we will see what that entails later on. Now, the biggest thing I noticed about this trailer was the lack of the new characters that are going to be introduced.
Yeah, there wasn't any Rose.
Rose, Laura Dern's character, and Benicio del Toro's character were not in this film or in this trailer, which is kind of surprising. But I started thinking about it. I was like, well, we need to focus on the main story characters. Maybe the ones that they're gonna introduce are gonna be minor characters with a big role. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think we're going to get another trailer before the movie drops? Or do you think we're going to get that next international trailer and that's going to be it?
I'm trying to remember...
we didn't get very much campaigning for Force Awakens, but then again, you didn't have to.
Well, I feel like the final trailer for Force Awakens came out maybe only a few weeks before the movie did. I seem to recall that being fairly late, so I think that they could... have one in late November. I mean, we're just under 2 months, or maybe like a little over 2 months away. So, yeah, I think it's traditional. I feel to always have a teaser and then 3 trailers. So if you can only get 2, that'll be fine. Because the first one I think was a little more than a teaser.
Oh, it was way more than a teaser.
It did a lot. It showed you a lot. So
it got you really excited for the film.
So
being at Star Wars Television, feeling that energy just in the convention center, right when Rian Johnson said, "Of course, there's a trailer." I could hear those cheers from inside of the. I think the floor or the dealer's room, depending on what kind of con you go to. But you could hear those screams from where we were, and there were already several thousand people where we were screaming. So you could hear and anticipate the trailer, and the reaction of the trailer was just impressive. So yes, it was more than just a teaser trailer. It was everything and more. So
I say that they will squeeze out one more and then start going to the TV spots, and then
they'll recut the same footage.
Exactly.
Get those TV spots in, and maybe do some slightly different views or the same scenes with a different like angle for the international trailers.
Yeah, TV spots from a certain point of
view.
view.
There you go. I like that.
I want puppy.
We'll go find it, buddy. But with that being said, with the trailer,
Is it B?
yeah, it's a B. With that being said, right before the trailer drop, we got a new poster. The Rian Johnson tweeted out at the same time. Awesome. At the same time that StarWars.com tweeted out the poster, the official poster for the Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Have you seen the poster at least?
Yeah, I did see it before the trailer. Again,
I did too. It pinged on my phone.
Yeah,
I was driving back from the coast and ping. So when the opportunity provided itself so I could pull over, I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. But yes. Yeah,
I like the beach, by the way. Do you like sand?
Sand doesn't bother me, but my boy got a rash, so I don't think he likes sand.
Yeah, it's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, it gets coarse and it gets everywhere. But yeah, the poster itself was gorgeous. It was a nice touch to the original trilogy posters, which we have kind of stylized ones behind us, and it's very similar to the Force Awakens, where it highlighted the main characters. What the biggest difference between this one and the Force Awakens poster that I noticed was you had the main characters highlighted front and center, where the Force Awakens you had kind of everybody's face was on there very prominently. This one not so much, and I think Rogue One was the same way.
Yeah.
I think they finally talked to the fans and fan feedback. Like, no, it's too busy. It's good, but it's too busy. They brought it back in a little bit to make it focus on just those main characters. Of course, you have BB-9 in there. You have the R2-D2, C-3PO both in there. The new walkers are in there. Plot points are in there. But the main characters are the focus of the poster.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I was going to just respond with a question, which was my main observation, which was, what do you think of Luke's placement? Because he's like in the back and on the very top. Which,
he reminds me of the Vader placement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, that makes me question, like, what do they got planned for Luke in this movie? Because again, just the way, like, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's what we do.
Yeah, that's kind of our thing.
Yeah, just can't help but think, why is he in the spot typically reserved for his dad, the main big bad?
We got to think too, his dad's not around anymore.
Yeah.
And you can't really have, Kylo hasn't fulfilled that role yet. He's only killed his dad and he's done some bad things, but just 3 years prior, or 6 years prior to, was it 6 years or 3 years, anyway, not that long before The Force Awakens, Ben Solo was still good and he's traveling with Luke. So he hadn't had the time to build up that evil that Darth Vader had when we first saw him in A New Hope. That was 20 years to be bad versus 6 years or 3 years or however long it was. So I don't think he's earned that spot on the poster, in my opinion. Maybe he does because he's evil. I don't know. But I like what you bring up about.
He's quasi-evil. He's semi-evil.
Yeah, evil. But I do like how you say it, it's a kind of homage to Vader with Luke.
Yeah.
And you got to think for a minute. Maybe he does go dark. Maybe he dabbed in the dark side a little bit.
It's like with the teaser poster here. It's like the more I stared at it, the more I thought, it starts out with Rey's saber blue, and then it turns red the closer we get to Kylo and Luke.
Yeah.
So, I'm intrigued. What's that line that I love from Django Unchained? Gentlemen, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
That was a very good movie. Very not family-friendly film, but very good movie. But no, yeah, I do like that first teaser poster we got at Celebration. I like the new one more because it highlights more of the characters and more of the plot points. This was very stunning, and I love having it on my wall. But I do like having the characters, all of them, on the poster because the main 6 aren't as important as the original 3 from the original trilogy. So I like that about it. This one you got Luke, Rey, and Kylo. The new one we have Luke, Rey, Kylo, Finn, Poe, and Leia. So
I don't know.
As the main.
With me, it's always kind of like when it comes to posters, and I have many. it's always kind of a less is more
Exactly.
kind of deal for me. So I mean, the new one's got the right balance. But I don't know, there's something about the teaser poster.
No,
I think
it's
just
gorgeous.
Looks better.
It's gorgeous, and I wouldn't change anything about it. But I do like, as far as the not the teaser poster, but the actual film poster that's probably going to be hanging in theaters. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
So.
I just want to point out one thing.
It's very eye-catching because it's red.
Yes.
And
No,
white.
no, no,
It's very.
no, again, I'm loving the red. I can't think of like a really red poster we've had. Like all the other previous Star Wars ones have been more of a blue or black almost. Like
Rogue One was like black and white.
Yeah, it was like black with like maybe some blue on there because like they showed some of the planet and the troopers on the beach. Like as far as posters go from this year, like I know Baby Driver was mostly kind of pink, so that one stood out.
But I mean, look who directed that though. You had a good director who had a really good eye for art, for stylized stuff. So yeah, it's wonderful. Look, everybody.
You got a surprise panelist. Yeah.
But with that being said, I can't wait to see the gigantic version of this poster, like hanging in the IMAX theater. Can't wait for that one.
I went to the IMAX the other day and saw Blade Runner.
How was that? Oh, we'll get that later.
Yeah.
Different show.
We'll have to talk about that one later,
different show.
But definitely watch it. And the IMAX is always gorgeous. I do want to give a shout out to a YouTube recap, a YouTube channel that did a recap of the Star Wars trailers. This channel, hopefully y'all heard of them. They get a lot of hits. They're called Aural Knots, and they have one where Kylo Ren watches the new trailer, and he's reacting to it, and he pointed out something that I hadn't noticed the first time, or the first couple times I watched the trailer. The word "raw" is used twice in the trailer.
Once by Snoke and once by Luke.
Yeah, so it's like it's a very raw trailer, very raw movie we're getting.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like a World Wrestling thing, like Star Wars.
Raw.
Welcome to Star Wars Raw.
Yeah, and that's actually interesting too, because you have two different types of views and thinking on the Force using the exact same phrases to describe their Padawans, if you will, or apprentices.
Yeah.
So it's who's talking about who in that respect. Is Snoke talking about Kylo or Rey, or is Luke's talking about Kylo or Rey, or other people?
What do you think is going on in that final shot where it's like Rey is being like force attacked or something?
Oh yeah, where she's being suspended by Snoke. Yes, that is Snoke. You can see the gold robes in the background.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like I tried to stop analyzing trailers frame by frame. I just like watching it and getting the impression of it. Yeah. But
I noticed it immediately. I was like, that's Snoke.
Yeah. So oh gosh, what's that? Oh, and yeah. So it's like I guess they meet, but also the Snoke effect looked really good.
Yes.
He looks way better outside of hologram form.
I will agree.
Yes.
And he doesn't look CGI enough to go, oh, that's CGI. He looks enough to go, I think I saw him in Lord of the Rings.
Sure, yeah.
Which, I mean, they had spectacular CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in that movie was fantastic. So whoever, I guess ILM or whoever the artists are and designers are,
probably ILM,
did an amazing job illustrating, designing, and layering and rendering that. I can't wait to see how tall he is. I still say he's this big. It's just all in perspective.
Yeah, I was thinking of you when I saw that. I'm like, wow, he looks like normal size. Maybe I don't know,
maybe 6 foot, maybe
6'5".
Yeah,
I was gonna say
Vader length.
Yeah, Vader length. But it could be a forced perspective kind of thing. I don't know. Like maybe he's on a small table and we just can't notice, and he's just standing right next to Rey.
Well, he's wearing the gold robe because he's greased up. He's a greased up little dude.
I think you're onto that one.
I think so. Yeah.
I think you got that part down.
But yeah. Speaking of Luke in this trailer, we got Grumpy Luke.
Yeah.
We got Grumpy Luke who's just like, no, I'm done. No, I don't. What do you get off my rock? Yeah. But as Grumpy Luke is,
it'd be really epic if his first line was "Welcome to the Rock."
Yeah, that would be amazing, but I don't think he calls his home the Rock.
Oh.
As much as it would be hilarious.
He kind of imprisoned himself there.
A little bit. Yeah, there's no like X or ZX gas, so. I know.
Well, First Order's got to fight with something.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think the Porge are filled with? ZX gas.
Oh God.
But moving on to the next story, it kind of involves Luke, Mark Hamill, an interview that New York Comic Con was this last weekend, and Mark Hamill was there. He I guess he gave a panel. Didn't really say how he was speaking, but I'm assuming it's a panel because he loves having panels. He's a great entertainer. He's a great speaker. He likes to talk in circles. I got to see him talk on stage. It was great. And he likes to misdirect. He talks a lot without saying anything, which is a skill that you need to have if you're going to be talking about Star Wars or talking about, anything related to that. But
it's a mind trick of some kind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in this particular panel, he was actually talking about Leia's role in Episode 9 and how much Leia was supposed to be a part of Episode 9. How Han had the first movie, he was a big part. How Luke is going to have a big part in this one, and how Leia was going to have her the final chapter in the series be more about her and her overall arc. He does go on to say, you're going to really love her in The Last Jedi. I know you're really going to try to find a way to, they're going to try to find a way to close her story in Episode 9. That gives her the respect she deserves, because Han Solo was more prominent in 7, The Force Awakens. Luke is more prominent in 8. And certainly Leia was meant to be prominent in 9. Worldwide, everyone feels that the gap she left, but we all have to hang in there. Now, it's been, almost a year since we lost Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, it was December 27th, so we're coming up just a few months shy of it.
And I keep bringing it up, I was at Celebration. I don't mean to do that I'm special on Celebration, but at Celebration, there was the 40th anniversary panel, which I went to, and that had a segment of that alone was just about Carrie Fisher. And then I think Mark Hamill in his monologue or his panel had a giant thing, a tribute to Carrie Fisher. And we're going to keep getting this in a good way up until I think the close of this trilogy, because of course we're gonna see her last work in The Last Jedi. She didn't do anything else after this. So we're gonna see her story arc, whether or not they changed it in post, or maybe they shot some extra stuff for The Last Jedi, but I don't think they did, because Rian Johnson was very clean, concise when he was doing the filming. They stayed on schedule for the most part. So I don't think they closed it out that way, even though we kind of see a misdirect where we see Kylo kill or shoot the ship that Leia's on, but I think...
Well, I'm not sure if he hits the button. It's like
I think he was looking at something else he was going to destroy versus where she was. I think it was two different aspects of the film, which is a great misdirect. But that going forward, story-wise, we need Leia, or we assumed Leia was going to maybe be the rock or the foundation or the leader for the New Republic that they were trying to form. How do you think they're going to move forward with that without Leia?
Well, we were talking about this before the show. My first instinct is that they will have another character step in her place, and you mentioned this character earlier because she did not show up in the trailer, but the character that Laura Dern is playing, I know she's supposed to be a politician of some kind.
They were Leia and Laura Dern's character, I can't remember her name now. We're both in the junior legislature for back in the Republic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they know each other. They're friends.
Okay, they're friends, allies. Already have a connection. I hope. Yeah. Okay.
So maybe you're onto something. Maybe she steps up and sees where Leia was trying to do, and maybe her untimely ends. She's like, I think I need to carry on Leia's passion and her drive to finish this. Because that's kind of how it was in the Leia novel. They connected very closely. They did a lot of close. Much later in the book, it wasn't like immediate. But by the end of it, they were very close friends.
Okay.
And they were paralleling each other in life, just taking two different paths. So maybe this is a way for us to be introduced to her character outside of the novels. Going, you know what? She would make a great, not replacement, but a good a good successor. Thank you, for Leia. For this position of general or new leader for the Republic. So.
And what's her character's name? Lauren Dern.
I can't remember.
Lauren Dern character. Yeah. I'm so bad with all these Star Wars names.
She in the Leia novel, I was like, oh, that's who that is. and it completely blanked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't like the book. I liked the book. I just liked Phasma more. My mind just grew toward that one more. But comment below. Let us know what the character's name is, or I'll look it up later and put a little comment. Anyway, but I do believe that she will have a huge impact on the New Republic going forward and helping maybe get a new set of politicians and senates and whatever you need for a New Republic going forward. So I like the way you're thinking on that.
Yeah.
So.
How about you? Is there a theory you have on how they're gonna?
I did at first.
Storyline?
I did at first until you brought up the Laura Dern character. I thought Poe was going to be that person.
Well, he definitely shares some screen time with Leia.
Yeah, he is the poster boy for the not rebellion, resistance.
Yeah.
So
like there's a line in Force Awakens where it's like, hey, we got General Leia's best pilot.
Oh yeah. I didn't know we had the best pilot in the Resistance on board, by Kylo Ren, who in the trailer we learned is not a terrible pilot. He's a very good pilot. So he's got a lot of his dad in him and a lot of his uncle because they're both great pilots. But moving on, I thought it was going to be Poe, mainly because of his skill in combat. I know not always combat does not make a good politician and leader later. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I think with him having a confidant, I guess, in General Leia, she could guide him. I think she does guide him in Episode 8, becoming a leader much more than a flyboy. So I think maybe we'll see that transition, or maybe the Laura Dern character and Poe go in it together, so there's no one person in power.
I can't remember. Is Lando in this movie?
Not that they've said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he's not gonna be the.
Oh.
He's not gonna be the cool guy with the cape going, "Hey, I'm in charge."
Yeah, he's already got the. I was gonna say he's already
got the cape.
Yeah, he's got the leader cape, man.
Yeah, well, he can be in charge of Cloud City and run those gambling circles out there.
I don't know. I mean, you want someone with military and business experience. He's been in the private sector. He's been in the rebellion. He blew up a Death Star. So.
He did blow up. He blew up the second.
Along
Death
with Wedge, I want to share credit.
He did, yeah.
But yeah, like Chancellor Lando.
I think Chewie was in there too, right?
No, Chewie was on the planet. It was the.
Oh no, yeah, he was in there with he was on the moon of Endor with Solo. That's right.
I forget. I don't know the name of the co-pilot dude.
Nine Nub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Nine Nub.
Yeah, Chancellor Lando. I can't like the sound of
Or Senator Lando.
Senator Lando? Oh.
I don't think he'd be Chancellor or whatever they call him, Chancellor. I don't know. I think they're going to steer away from anything that was involved with the Old Republic. I think they'll change the title but keep the same power. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on from that because
Emperor Lando.
Everyone will wear capes because it's cool.
I'm going to mandate that.
That's right. Moving on, we've got Rian Johnson talking spoiler policies and porgs.
Fried porgs on a stick.
Yeah, pork sandwiches, you name it. Chewie obviously likes them.
Pork nachos.
Pork nachos, yeah. Speaking of that, we've got, again, Rian Johnson talking about all this stuff. Rian Johnson was in an interview, I think it was with Yahoo, I do believe, yep. Talking about, what qualifies stuff coming out for promotion, what kind of materials do they put out for trailers, and what not to put out, what to put out, and porgs. Why are there porgs in Episode 8? What are porgs? Where do they come from? Why are they kind of cute and penguiny? With that being said, we do get a little quote from we get two quotes from Rian Johnson. We'll say on the porg issue, we'll cover that first. He said, I was like, oh, this is the spot, this is the part of the island we need to find the star, sorry, messed that all up. I guess I didn't write that whole quote down, that's fine. He did go on to say...
but there are actual things called a puffin on the island, and he said, oh, we need to make a Star Wars version of this animal.
There you go. Right, yeah, he finished the quote for me, he can do that. So there are actual puffin penguins that live on this Skellig Michael Island that are native to the island, are native to that part of the world, in Ireland and that little area. And I assume, while they were shooting there, he goes, what are those? Yeah. And they're probably like, puffer penguins?
They're adorable. Let's market them.
I like them. But I don't believe that they were allowed to mess with any wildlife while they were there. I think it's probably part of their Skywalker Island contract.
Like I can picture someone with a phone or a camera just like taking a photo and like, send us a Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that's right.
Get designs going.
Exactly. And I think they wanted to capture something that was part of the island other than the island itself to kind of give it more of a lived-in scenario. Because kind of like when we go to Dagobah. We go to Dagobah and we see Yoda. Of course, we're going to find Yoda. That's what Luke is after. But we also get lots of wildlife noises. We get snakes. We get something that lives in the swamp that swallowed R2. We get lots of stuff. So how are they going to do that in The Last Jedi? Well, you look at the native species that live there and go, I need a Star Wars version of that. And that's how we get Porgs. Now, you know. But what are your thoughts on Porgs? Love them? Hate them? Chewy? Are they good? Good on sandwiches?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure they taste just like chicken.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Everything tastes like chicken. I had chicken for lunch.
Oh, there you go. Of course, I mean, they're feathery, so you gotta pluck them first, just like a chicken. So, yeah, man, I'm getting hungry now. Kind of gonna kick the ball down the road a little bit. I will make up my mind when I see the movie. Because, we've seen a little bit of them right now, and yeah, if they have, like, Porgs in moderation in Last Jedi, I'm sure I'll be okay with them.
People are equating these to the new Jar Jar Binks or the new Ewoks to this trilogy. I disagree. I think they're going to serve a purpose that are not like the Ewoks. I don't think they're going to play that much of a role. I do think they're going to be maybe a companion style animal to Chewie, who just lost Han. Or maybe they're force sensitive. Maybe they throw themselves at. I don't know. From some of the descriptions we get, they're very vicious when they're angry.
Yeah, like the one in the cockpit's going to be Chewie's comfort animal.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not a stretch of the imagination, because if you read, if you further along reading in the, I forget what book it is, but I think it's in the Aftermath book, the Battle of Endor. The Ewoks gave themselves up as companion animals.
Oh yeah.
For the troopers who fought and have PTSD. Now, if Chewie adopts a Porg for that same purpose, good on him. He's recovering from the loss of Han, his basically lifelong friend, as far as we know until the Han Solo movie comes out. Don't ruin it. But I do like them so far.
Yeah.
I don't think the marketing for them has been very strong. I think they do that just to make money, and I get it. But I don't think we're going to see after we leave the island, we're going to get one Porg, and it's going to be the Porg that's on the Falcon, and that's all we're going to get.
That'd be fine. Like I say, if it's just, again, Porgs in moderation and not just, Porg every
5 minutes or whatever.
10 to 12 minutes, yeah, whatever. Then I'll be okay.
Yeah, we got Porgs on this planet. We got Porgs on that planet. We got Porgs over here. We got Porgs over here.
No, just have a few on the island and then one on the ship. And again, I think it'd be cool if it's just that one Porg just chilling in the cockpit the whole time, just on the dashboard, just rocking along to something.
I can see it very much like in the style of Spaceballs, where you have what was the captain's name?
Lone Star.
Lone Star. Him and Barf. We're jamming out to some rock on their spaceship, and I can see a Porg going.
Yeah.
Just jamming out to some tunes on the Falcon. That'd be very cool.
Or just like raiding the fridge on the Falcon, kind of like eating all Chewie's food.
That's how Chewie ends up eating the Porg. Now we know. Now we know why Chewie eats the Porg. But with the Porg stuff out of the way and talked about, because we have to talk about the Porgs. We were talking about what qualifies stuff as a spoiler, what makes it into marketing, what doesn't make it into marketing. And we have a long quote from Rian Johnson about that. I'm going to do my best. Here we go. This is what Rian Johnson said. He said, a year ago, maybe even more than that, my producer, Ram Bergman, and I sat down with the folks with Lucasfilm and said, okay, this is what we're going to reveal here, here, and here, and stuff that we're never going to reveal until the movie comes out. We come up with a no-fly list under no circumstances is this shown or that shown. Yeah, I know, me too. It's like a year in advance. Like they kind of knew where they were going, obviously with the writing and the storyboarding and the filming. So they knew in advance.
Where were these rules when y'all were doing the trailers for Batman v Superman?
Nowhere. He also goes on to say, he goes on to say it's a fascinating process, something that, for me, just having been a fan my whole life, suddenly being behind the curtains and seeing how it works and seeing how deliberate it is, it's been really fascinating. Now, being in that position of Rian Johnson, knowing that he wrote the script, he shot the movie, he worked with Lucasfilm, all probably 2 years before actual.
Oh yeah.
Well, he probably wrote a draft, submitted it, wrote it again, storyboarded it. Probably a good year and a half before they started shooting. At least up to that point. So he knew all of the secrets beforehand, because he probably had conversations with JJ. He probably had conversations with Kathleen Kennedy, going, "This is the overall arc. This is what we want to hit. I don't care what happens in the middle. You figure that out."
Yeah.
And he's probably like, "Oh my god, how can I keep this a secret?" That's what a good director does. He keeps secrets. That's what all the editing team does. He keeps secrets. And the cast and the crew, everyone working on the films, they keep secrets for a reason, because us, the audience, some of the people who dig deep and want to pirate the movie, we want to be surprised. And for Rian Johnson to now being on the other side of things, I mean, he's made movies before, he knows things, but nothing on this scale of this fan following. And knowing that he knows these secrets, and seeing the process of what goes in here, what can we say here, what can we say here, to me, hearing him say it's fascinating, it makes me go, that's even more fascinating. What secrets do you think he's hiding?
Oh gosh, I mean, like I said, he knows the whole story, so he knows like if certain things are a fake out or not. I'd be curious on like what whole plot points might have been withheld from the trailer, because just going off the trailer, it kind of looks like this whole movie might just be one long battle.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, just this one long battle on Crate. Yeah, like on the land and in the space around it, and then you cut to and from with Rey interacting with Luke. So I'm just curious, is that all that is going to be? But then again, they got to get Rey off the planet at some point. So,
yeah.
So that I'm curious about, and we don't know if Luke is going to get off the planet. I mean, what if
everything we've seen so far is stayed on Crate?
He's just on the rock.
Yeah. What I just now had a lightning struck my brain is that in the Force Awakens trailers, I do remember we do get, although we do have this very similar, overtone of Luke speaking in the first trailer like we did in the first Force Awakens trailer, where the Force is strong in my family. My father had, or my grandfather had, my father had it, I have it, now you have it too.
Yeah.
And then in the course of that movie, we got a very, very strong flashback. And then in this new movie, it looks like we're going to do the same thing, but they never touched on some of those plot points in those flashbacks.
Yeah.
This one looks like it has a lot to do with those flashbacks or flashbacks. So I can only imagine Rian Johnson goes, okay, this is, him and Lucasfilm are like, okay, this is what this is our big reveal. How can we trick them to thinking this is our big reveal?
It's like they're charting a football player.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I would love to be a fly on the wall. I don't want to hear the secrets, but I want to know the misdirections of them going, they'll never know until they see the movie, of course. And then the overall arc of the whole story for these episodes 7, 8, 9, what the end game is for that.
Yeah.
Like, I know Kathleen Kennedy probably has an idea, and the Lucasfilm crew probably has an idea of where that's going to go.
Like at first I was looking at the backdrop of Kylo Ren when they're doing that fake out toward the end, and my brain was going in different directions, and I thought, could this be in the flashback sequence? But I remember now he's got the scar, so no, it's not from then. Unless they digitally added the scar just to throw us off, and it is from that movie. I don't know. Wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. But again, it's one of who he's reaching his hand out to.
Oh yeah, he might be reaching out to Luke.
That's possible. I want to know, like, are they? What if it's just Rey gets captured because she goes out on her own, didn't complete her training, like Luke, like what Luke did, and Luke has to, gosh, what if he just? Wouldn't it suck if he just stayed on the island the whole time?
Depends on if the story called for it. But
Yeah,
it would kind of
yeah.
suck. No, from what I understand, there's going to be an epic battle on the island with Kylo Ren, maybe. Spoilers, maybe.
Maybe.
This is from what I heard.
Just speculating.
Just speculating. So I don't know if
Like Kylo can come down and.
I don't know if the story is going to come to him, to Luke, or if Luke's going to go to the story. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So we will see what that entails.
Yeah, the First Order can invade and just kill all the Porgs.
Hey, they probably eat the porgs. All they get is that protein paste. It's disgusting from what I understand it. Flavorless, tasteless. Oh, that is flavorless. But yeah, it's not good. Protein powder's never any good. But no.
It's like the second time this week someone's bashed the protein powders.
It's gross. You had some?
For a while I was given some, and that was back when I actually worked out a little bit, and it kind of tasted like chocolate milk, but.
There's flavored versions.
Yeah.
But the stuff in the Empire is gray paste.
I'd rather just eat chicken.
I would.
Or pork.
Either way. Whatever's fresh and available.
Yeah.
Check your local supermarket, folks. They might have pork. Might be disguised as fish or chicken.
Also, just the fact that Rian Johnson used the word fascinating in his quote didn't even think of Star Trek. I mean, that is Spock's main line of dialogue.
But Rian Johnson's also a fan of Star Trek. No, I don't think there'll be any Star Trek references in this franchise.
No. But I saw a fan T-shirt, and it was a Porg with some cybernetic enhancements.
Borg?
Yeah, it made it look like a Borg.
Porg?
And and the shirt that said "Resistance is futile," and just like a few other slogans, and one that just said, "We are the Porg."
I love it. But
Crossover.
no.
No?
We're moving on to the one, the only, the single source of Han Solo news, Ron Howard.
Was this something he said on Twitter?
This is something he said on the Twitter sphere.
Ah.
Hate that word. No one might just use it. Never use it again. Like I said, our one and only source of Han Solo news is Ron Howard. He does say in a tweet that it says Corellian nights get a little chilly with screenwriter John Kasdan and I trying to keep warm. # untitled Han Solo movie. So Corellia is going to be in the Han Solo film, and you ask yourself, why do I care if that's a planet? Cool, I guess. It's not a desert planet. You're right. What is cool about it is that they build most of the ships in the Star Wars universe. They build some of the Star Destroyers. They build some of the shuttles. They build some of the transports. They built the Millennium Falcon. They build so much of the Star Wars stuff, ships and stuff. And even the Ghost came from Corellia, if you're familiar with Rebels. That's why they look similar. They're also designed by the same guy. Roughly the same guy. Or it was inspired. They're both inspired by World War II aircraft. There you go. But with that being said, what are we going to see on Corellia? And we also know Han Solo was born on Corellia. So, I ask you this, in a series of rapid-fire questions. Will we see the Falcon get made? Will we see baby Han Solo? And will Ron Howard quit tweeting out Han Solo news?
Yes, no, and no.
Okay. Explain!
Oh, well, of course we're going to see the Falcon in a Han Solo movie.
Of course.
They're so interconnected.
Yes.
You can't have Solo without the Falcon.
Or Chewie.
Yeah. So yeah, of
Or his
course
vocab.
it's going to be there. Baby Han Solo, I'm just saying no because no, I don't want that.
I agree.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we don't need to go back that far.
Yeah, no, like we
We've
talked
covered
about
this before.
Yeah, like several shows ago, like we can see rebellious teenage Han Solo, but
That's fine.
no, we don't want baby Han Solo.
I would be okay if it was relevant to the story, and if they jumped years right after that. Like, born teenager. All right, I like it. That way you don't see, bottle-fed Han or whatever. We get Han as a baby, then jump to walking aboard the Millennium Falcon after stealing it from, or getting it from Lando.
Like maybe if the baby like grabbed a blaster and shot somebody, that'd be cool.
Yeah, shooting first.
Yeah, shooting first.
That would be the only way that you could ever have a baby Han Solo. Now, no, I don't think we're gonna get baby Han Solo either. I just said that just to be silly and stupid.
Like you can shoot baby Greedo's baby brother.
Nah, that's too much. That's
Too much?
too much.
Okay.
But we're not gonna see baby Chewie, I don't think we're gonna see baby Chewie. We're not gonna see baby Han. We'll probably see a lot of the Falcon. We'll probably see the early Falcons back before they did all the modifications.
Baby Chewie sounds too much like baby Huey. Yeah. I don't want to think about that. Why did I say that?
Yeah, no, not good.
That's awful.
Yeah, don't ever say that again.
I hate myself.
All right. So I do think that we're going to get the Falcon. Like I said, we can't have Solo without the Falcon. We also can't have Solo, and we know we're getting Lando. So are we going to see Han swindle the Falcon from Lando?
Oh yeah, somehow.
All right, I like that.
That's happening. That's happening.
Oh yeah,
gotta happen.
Now, from the picture of the that Ron Howard tweeted, we get to the fire that they're keeping warm at, and they are keeping warm, is a burned out R2 unit of some sort, astromech unit of some sort. So, what do you think about that? Is Corellia going to be this dark, dirty place that we're going to see? Is it like down its luck this early into the Empire, or yeah, because it's going to be pretty early in the Empire, or do you think they're just burning out? Or is that just like a prop used that they're just making a fire for?
I hope it's just a prop, you know, they're just... Uh-oh.
I know, he does that.
Okay, no. Just in case you're wondering, there's a kid putting on a surgical glove, and I'm worried.
No need to be worried.
Okay. But no, I you know, just to use another Star Trek reference, I remember when they were talking about why they cast certain people in the original series, and the reason that they made Scotty the engineer a Scotsman was because, in their mind, Scotsmen have always been shipbuilders. And so from a young age, I've always associated building of... Oh, don't touch that button.
Don't touch that button.
No. There you go.
Yeah,
But,
see the camera knocking out because he hit his head on it.
yeah. But it was like, I've always associated Scotsmen with shipbuilding because of Scotty.
Yeah.
And so when I was reading the show notes, I always thought...
We're building another ship for you, Captain!
Exactly. So that's what I want. It's like, if I had my way about it, you know, I would have Corellia be just like a planet Scotland.
I don't know if that's racist, but at the same time, it's like, well, maybe you're onto something. Because
Come on, beautiful country, you know,
it is,
and it has, you know, urban centers like everyone else.
As long as they don't make them sound like stupid aliens, or like in the Phantom Menace.
Right.
I'm fine with the Scottish accent being all over the world, or all over the galaxy universe. What I liked about the Star Trek though is the fact that they were based on Earth. I don't know if they're going to allow that in Star Wars. Because Earth is never mentioned at all in this.
Well, no, but just think it.
Galaxy far.
Well, it's like how Naboo, at least in setting, has been has borrowed from Italian backdrops.
Yeah.
I'm
fine with borrowing landscapes.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like,
I thought you meant the people. I was like, no, I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't know about the people, but definitely the scenery. Like, I would love to see like the Scottish Highlands and like, you know, you CGI impose like a shipbuilding facility on the mountains here and there. You know, get a nice little loch nearby, maybe with a monster in it.
You put Chewie in it. You have the monster of Loch Ness.
Oh God.
Or maybe the loch. I'm gonna run with your theory, maybe, or your idea. Maybe there's a Hutt who lives in it, and that's the monster of Loch Ness.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, big ol' Hutt.
Yeah, so just because again, I've always heard that Scots are associated with shipbuilding. If they modeled an entire planet off of Scotland, yeah, I would totally dig that.
You know what? Having just the landscape of Scotland would not bother me. Having the accent in Star Wars would.
Yeah, I don't think they could pull that off.
No.
I don't think they could do that. Well, plus Han Solo's from there and he doesn't have an accent.
Exactly. So.
Or like maybe the accent could be everyone being gruff and Harrison Ford like. Just have everyone do a Harrison Ford impression.
That's how they end up with the Themyscira accent, because Gal Gadot can make a clean American accent, so everyone copied her accent for the whole movie.
There you go.
Which, you know, adapt and overcome. So,
yeah.
No, I agree. I think that we're gonna get Corellia is gonna be a beautiful place. We're just getting little glimpses of some underworks, some underlings.
Yeah, like the factories can be dirty.
Yeah. Shipbuilding, any factory is gonna be dirty. Even in the Empire, they're gonna be dirty. You see those troopers on Scarif? Dirty armor. So, anyway, I think that's gonna do it for our news. We're going to have some news next week. We could have included it in this, but it was too late to add to the show notes, so you'll get it next week, or you're just going to be lazy and read it on the internet. Like, what are these guys talking about? It's a week old. That's fine. You're more entitled to do that. But we're going to talk about it as it comes up in the show notes when I make them the day before the show happens. Haha.
And
Trade secret.
And hopefully we'll have Sean back by then. He's down with a case of the dark side.
Yeah. Dark side.
Dark side.
But yeah, let's say, hope he's back. Hope next week. And Sean, if you're watching, feel better, dude. You work too hard, you work too much. But you know what?
No respect.
You get no respect. Around here, you don't get any respect. I'm just kidding. Let's say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for continuing to watch us. You build every show. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. Everything you do, guys. I love it. Tell your friends about it. We're just a small little Star Wars show out of Texas. Help us grow. Give us suggestions as to how we can make this better. We try to do our best to make it concise every week, although our settings sometimes change. And that happens.
I like that. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
We're very adaptable.
Yeah, we can go anywhere. Thank you guys so much. Remember, again, to like, share, subscribe, comment. Click here for the subscribe button. Click over there, right there. You'll see it. It's a box right there. That's 2 weeks ago show. Click here for last week's show, guys. And take care. Goodbye.